You're in control of your anxiety and you can get over it. This is the story about how I healed from my diagnosed anxiety disorder. And we are live. Hello, welcome back to the Rosabeth Mooon Motivation Podcast. My name is Mikayla Rosabeth and I am your host on today's episode, how I healed from my anxiety disorder and how you can too. It's episode 6 of season 1. I am so excited. We are trucking right along. We are getting into the juicy details. And in yesterday's episode, I talked about how I was diagnosed with anxiety disorder because the first time that I decided and realized that I should start listening to my thoughts, I had a panic attack because my thoughts took over. And today's episode is how I healed from that. What did I do? How did I heal from those thoughts? How did I heal from impending doom anxiety where I can't leave my bed? And how did I cure my anxiety to get here? And how does this help you? How are you going to be able to heal your anxiety? I am so excited to talk about all that in today's episode. First, I want to explain a little bit about how there might be a trigger warning for this one because it is a diagnosed anxiety disorder. So I will be talking about anxious thoughts. Also, simultaneously, please check out my self-help resources if you have anxiety and you want to know more about how to help yourself, or if you don't have anxiety and you really just kind of want to know more self-help resources, what works, what doesn't, feel free to visit me at rosabethmooon.com. The moon has 3 O's in it, just like our podcast. Awesome. Today's episode, I'm going to be talking about easy ways to naturally reduce anxiety, especially during panic attacks. So we talked about how I started hearing my thoughts and the thoughts began taking everything over. Genuinely, it was to the point where whenever I tuned into my thoughts, it was like, you're going to die. I'm going to die. Everything is going to implode on itself. And it would just go and go and go. Here's the example for this story, okay? I had just realized that I had anxiety and I had anxiety thoughts, and I had just been diagnosed with anxiety. And when I had this realization and became more self-aware that I started listening to my thoughts because I realized that they were keeping me in this cycle of sadness and pain and difficulties. Here's what I mean. I was graduating college, right? We talked about this in like the second episode. I was graduating college and I was in college and I hated it. But my thoughts whenever I went into them was, if you don't graduate from college, then you're going to be nothing. If you drop out, then you're going to be a dropout forever. If you don't get this degree in this, you'll never make any money. If you don't actually continue this, you'll never be successful. That kind of panic. All day, every day, nonstop. And I soon realized that I don't want to be anxious anymore. I realized that I am the one that's in control and I can get over it. I can heal my anxiety. I can get over my anxiety disorder and have a clear mind. And so I started really getting into self-help. This was like self-help 100 million%. I'm in for it. I started doing acupuncture. I started doing breathing techniques, started doing, the standard self-help, meditation, yoga, all of the good stuff. And the thing that I found that naturally reduced my anxiety the absolute most was mental tools and confronting the anxiety and following the trail of why. I realized that what works best for me is compartmentalization. Compartmentalization is a mental tool, is a mental practice that one does whenever they feel anxious. Here's the example. Say I'm in a grocery store and the line's too long and I start to have an anxiety attack because there's too many people, line's too long, too much sound, etc., etc., etc. I got triggered. What do? Well, now that I can hear my thoughts, I actually go into my brain, look at this anxiety thought, look it in the face and confront it and tell it, hey, this is not a safe place for me to panic. I will release you at another safe time. And I genuinely visualize that panic going almost into like a save for later bucket. It's like, I will save this for later, and it calms me down. Other practices that I learned, staying present. I realized that part of my anxiety was because I felt other people's energies very strongly. And so when someone else was anxious, it toppled with my anxiety, and then it made everybody anxious, and it made me have panic attacks. And so one of the things that I started doing was staying present. I started calling my energy and everything back to me and started looking at the things around me, right? I started looking at my senses and being like, okay, what is this? Okay, my background, this is a green wall. I am wearing a black shirt. This is a green necklace. This is a coin necklace. I start taking my brain away from the anxiety and away from the trigger. Another tip that I did to help my anxiety was, if I can, I remove myself from the situation. And for the grocery store, right? I can't remove myself. I have to stand there. I have to compartmentalize this. I have to do it. But college, those are all panics. And yes, those are valid. All the panics are valid. They all, for me, came from a place of scarcity. I was always afraid that I would go back to nothing. I would fall and, life would be horrible. And so what did I do? I decided to remove myself from college because that was the trigger. The trigger was me going to classes every single day for a computer engineering degree when your girl is a creative. It's not. Computer engineering is absolutely fascinating and not my expertise. So I removed myself from it, and the best part is that I was in control. I could get over it. I could finally sit down and look at myself and be aware and say, Mikayla, I don't like this. This causes me trauma. This triggers me. How am I going to handle this? What do I like to do? And the more that I tried anxiety calming techniques, the more that I did mental tools and breath work and compartmentalization and detachment and leaving the situation, the symptom was that my anxiety quieted. My anxiety started slowly going away. And I found myself doing things that I liked, and I would tune into my thoughts, and my thoughts now are like, this is a great day. Oh my gosh, look how beautiful this is. Oh, I'm having such a great time. And if you would have asked me 5 years, 6 years, maybe even a couple years ago, if I even dreamed that my thoughts would not have anxiety, I would have given you a resounding no. But I never gave up on myself. I was strong and strict with myself and told myself it's my fault. It's my fault that I'm letting this anxiety control my life. It's my fault that I'm letting this anxiety rule my brain to the point where I can't have fun, where I can't enjoy my life. I can't even think about things that I like because my anxiety is so panicked and so freaked out and so upset. But I'm in the driving seat. I'm the one that controls this boat. And I promise you, as you continue to do things and activities and mindful activities that naturally reduce your anxiety will go away. It will. The science behind it is that as you do mental practices, your neural networks in your brain begin to rework and reform, and the outcome is habitual changes, even in mindset, even in thoughts. And if you want to know more and you want to know more natural ways to reduce anxiety during panic attacks, I have an article up on my website, rosabethmooon.com. It is titled just that, Easy Ways to Naturally Reduce Anxiety During Panic Attacks. On there, it has more different activities that you can do and you can try in your own life to reduce your anxiety. All of these are tested and true. I've done them all. My favorites are the one I mentioned previously, but if you have a different favorite or you have a tool or an activity that you do that reduces your anxiety, let me know. Comment it down below. Send me a DM. Let me know on Instagram or TikTok or anywhere. I'm on every social media. Let me know. I'm really curious. Also, if you do want to know more, I have all of the social medias and my website, and I post here on weekdays. And tomorrow's episode is really, really cool. I have all my notes. Let me see what's tomorrow's episode. I'll give you a little sneak peek. Even better. Tomorrow's episode is about mental tools. Me going more into explaining how they are and what kind of tools you can use and how you can view activities as tools. So I'm here for you. I'd love for you to be there for me, and I want to know what's going on. I hope everybody has an absolutely wonderful day, and remember, you're the one in control. You can get over your anxiety. You control your brain. You can help yourself. I believe in you. The only missing component is that you have to believe in yourself too. I hope that everybody has a wonderful day. Thank you so much for coming back to the Rosabeth Mooon Motivation Podcast. And I will talk to you guys and see you guys in the next episode. Bye.